Outside the Ford plant in Detroit, Michigan, a city that is home to America's still thriving auto industry, members of the United Auto Workers Union say their contracts do not reflect the company's sky-high profits.
This is not something that everybody wants to do. I don't think anybody wants to do this, but this is what we have to do.
For the first time in decades, nearly 13,000 workers from the big three automakers, Ford, General Motors, and Chrysler's parent company Stellantis, are on strike at the same time. The inflation that followed the COVID pandemic not only ballooned car prices in the U.S., but also changed attitudes to work-life balance across multiple industries. There's also the pivot toward cleaner energy and electric vehicles, which require less labor. Auto workers say their bosses are getting more comfortable while they continue to struggle.
When the CEO himself in just 1 year gave himself a 22% raise, you multiply that times 4 years, which is our agreement, he got a 68% raise. I mean, our CEO can afford to wear $50,000 watches and has mansions in Mexico. Our members can't afford that. Our members can barely afford to buy the product we make, let alone live the American dream.
The union is pushing for a 4-day work week and a 40% pay increase, which may be a steep ask.
Those cannot happen in the business models of GM, Ford, Stellantis. It would essentially break the backs of those companies. Now, clearly, this is a negotiation, game of high-stakes poker, a lot riding on it. But I do believe the UAW is going to have to play ball because there's a lot riding. There could be a lot of losers here, especially in what I believe is the biggest transformation to the auto industry since 1950s.
President Joe Biden, who has posited himself as America's most pro-union president, says he's dispatching 2 senior officials to help end the dispute.
Auto companies have seen record profits, including the last few years, because of the extraordinary skill and sacrifices of the UAW workers. But those record profits have not been shared fairly, in my view, with those workers.
Biden is keen on securing endorsements from labor unions as he heads into an election year, but he'll have to walk a fine line given how critical car manufacturers are to the strength of the U.S. economy. Yasmine El Sabawi, TRT World, Washington.